Mic check, testing, 2, 1, 2. Hello there and welcome back to the International Fathers. I'm your host and creator, Nelson Moody Sr. As you know, I like to start off with talking about recapping of my last show. My last show we had Mac 4 here, Kevin McKinney, and along with Mac 4 here. They were from Baltimore. A fresh new R&B group, up and coming, young brothers, 20s, ages of I believe 11 and like 18 years old, doing R&B songs. One of the amazing things about them is that all four of these guys are on honor roll, which is very, very commendable for them. Fathers, as you know, I like to talk about you in a positive way. If you had the opportunity to talk to and visit your child or children since the last show and nobody or nothing stopped you or hindered you or blocked you, I need to know why. Because those children of yours, that boy, that girl, all of them, they need you like never before. They also need you just because. Fast forward it. Before I introduce my guest, I got to tell you something. I was coming here today, and out of the clear blue sky, I got a inbox from a follower on Instagram. And today has been a fast-paced day for me. I was here and there. I was doing a lot of stuff. I got exhausted. I took a nap prior to me coming here. You know, I'm glad that my eyes don't look it. But I took a nap, and then I left the house, and I opened up my phone, and she's from Malibu, California. So shout out to Malibu, California, the LA area, the San Diego area, their whole Southern California. The film directors and the actors and the producers over there, much shout out to you and mad love to you. What she said to me, she said, keep doing what you're doing. Your work is good. Hard work pays off, and you're going to make it. And after reading that and hearing it in my mind, I was like, because as you know, I'm on that bus, and here in Atlanta, the buses are not like they are back home in Baltimore. You know, we can probably catch one there like every 5 to 7 minutes. Here, 30, 35, 40 minutes, and if you get construction like today, it can be longer than that. But anyway, if she's listening, I would like to say thanks for that encouragement, because I've always told my children that I never know who's watching my work. I know it's not in vain, and the best is yet to come. Without further ado, I'm going to introduce, I'm going to talk about my guest here, born in Baltimore, Maryland. I'm glad of that, because we back-to-back Baltimore. Hey, Kevin Kenny, I know you out there listening. He had to grow up very quickly. His father was a local home improvement contractor who later transitioned to a carpet industry. He and his family moved around a lot during his adolescent years due to his father's constant search for a better life for his children, which every father should always want a better life for their children. He was exposed to a lot at an early age. Money, luxury, and entertainment were the norm, uncommon in a city where most African-American families lived in poverty-stricken communities. This exposure will go into shape my guest's concept of being the best at whatever he decided to do. A troubled but brilliant student, he attended Carver Vocational Technical School, and I won't hold that against him because I went to Mervo. You know, Carver is our sister school, so we still have some relationship there. He was a sports athlete. Shortly after he graduated, unsure of his future, he decided to take advice of a friend and join the United States Navy. I won't do that either because I'm all Army. And you know how that is, Army, Navy every year. No doubt.
So after serving 2 years in Yokosuka, Japan, he was discharged and returned home to work with his dad. 4 years of being a sales rep for his father, he figured something was missing from his life. Surely he was introduced to acting and immediately fell in love with it. In 2012, in search of more opportunities, he decided to relocate from Baltimore to Atlanta, which became known as the Black Hollywood. Upon his arrival, with the help of a childhood friend, Tay Smith, if you're out there listening, I want you to chime in. Our call number here is 470-251-4343. We'll talk some more about that a little bit later. Was the agent? My guest signed in with also J. Purvis Talent Agency. He began attending classes at the Company Acting Studio and the Whole World Improv Theater. He has appeared in independent films such as Flux 13 and stage plays such as the Purified Forest, to whom he played a role of Piles. He enjoys outdoor activities such as playing football, basketball, baseball, swimming, walking his 8-month-old Siberian Husky.
Oh, yeah. That's
Roddy, man. Roddies. It's all good, though. He's also a vicarious reader, studying topics from history, politics, and religion. He's looking forward to continuing his growth as a thespian and hopes to one day bring change to the world. I'm going to introduce to some and present to others Rod Holmes, actor, and representing Baltimore well.
No doubt.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
We tell you a little bit about him before we talk about fatherhood and how he viewed fatherhood and how I view fatherhood and all that good stuff like that. I was at work one day and I was going to the financial institution, and I happened to see his car in the front seat.
Mm-hmm.
The driver's seat he had draped over their Ravens.
Mm-hmm. No doubt.
So I went over into the building and I tried to see who was a Raven fan. You know how you try to pick certain people out. Nobody in the lines fit the description of being from Baltimore. And then I was listening to them talk.
Yeah.
They had that southern dialect, so
Right.
I know that wasn't Baltimore.
Right.
So I came back out the building, and I kind of waited for him, kind of like stalked him, acting like, you know, how you could be on your phone. Y'all know how y'all got is the little girl on Facebook, the phone talking about stuff, and the lady on the phone talking about stuff on Facebook. You know what she was, right?
Mm-hmm.
So once he came outside, I asked him, I said, "You from Baltimore?" And he said, "Yes." And we've been chopping it up ever since then.
Ever since.
And then find out that he know my son.
Know your son. Your son.
Yeah.
No
So
doubt.
Nelson, if you're out there listening, here's Rod. He went to Carver and he was in the Navy.
Right. Well, your son, he was probably at that time was the top wrestler in the city at that time. We had a good team, overall team. Overall, our team was better, but individually, Nelson, he was, he was one of those guys where you just heard the name Moody. That's all you heard was Moody, and we had a guy on our team. I'm not gonna say no names, but he gave him a good fight. He put up a good fight. Definitely put up a good fight. But yeah. So when you told me your name was Nelson Moody, you're like, I was like, okay, that sounds familiar. I know that name. Because when you heard your son's name, you know, back when I was in high school, especially, you know, doing wrestling, it was like, you know, it was one of them names, Moody, like, okay, like, everybody knew that name. So when I saw you, when you told me what your name was, the first thing that popped in my head was Moody, you know what I mean? So that's how, you know, I was able to put two and two together, and that's how, when you told me you was his father.
Now, he's supposed to be the only wrestler in city school history to ever placed 3 times on state championships. He would have been there 4 times, but he got an ACL tear when he was playing football. I believe it was his 2nd year.
Well, I didn't. That's probably true. It is. I don't heard a lot of stories about Nelson, but
the boy's a beast.
Yeah, he's definitely one of those guys where, like I said, you heard that name and it was a wrap. And then when you saw him out there performing, he was tight, man. Your son was definitely tight. But we always beat overall as a team. Carver always beat City. So just to put that out there, so y'all know.
Okay.
No doubt.
Hey, so we're gonna talk about dad,
fatherhood means to you, the importance of it. You know, same conversation, different day.
Well, for my father, you know, and what he meant to me growing up, you know, he was everything. I mean, you know, he was always working. You know, he was always trying to, you know, put us in a better situation. You know, he was just always there. He was always, you know, hustling and grinding. And I mean, he may not have gotten, you know, as far as, you know, the compassionate side of being a father, but as far as laying down the foundation and setting a good example for us, me and my two sisters, you know, we couldn't have anybody better.
Wow.
I mean, he was just, he always worked no matter what, and he never got stressed out. I mean, if he did, it wasn't in front of us. It wasn't in front of anybody, you know, from what I see, from what I saw growing up. But he was just always going, no matter what obstacle came in his way, no matter what happened throughout the course of the day, you know, privately, personally, you know, his work never wavered, you know. And it was just a good example for me. And I didn't appreciate it at the time growing up, you know, because you want your father there. You want him, you want him with you. You know, you want him to come to all your wrestling matches. You want him to come to your football games. You want him to, you know, to be there, you know, all the time, you know, being a child. But growing up, as I got older and as I started to, you know, become my own man, I started to appreciate him. And I started to recognize that this is just who he is. This is his DNA. You know what I mean? So it was like, I realized, like, man, like, you know what I mean? I was blessed. You know, I was fortunate to be in that situation. He would always tell me and my sisters, oh, you don't know how good you got it. You don't know how good you got it. And people would always tell us, our family, friends, they would always come over. You know, they'd be like, man, y'all got it made. And, you know, me and my sisters, we sit there, we looking like, whatever, you know, that's what you think. You know what I mean? So at the time, you know, it's kind of hard. But when you look back on it now, as I'm older, I see, man, I was extremely blessed and extremely fortunate. And when I wrote that piece, you know, the bio, and it hit me, and it hit me again. It was like, damn, I was really fortunate. You know what I mean? I didn't appreciate what I had at that time, but I definitely appreciate it now. And, you know, it just shows. And I realize now also that I am the man that I am today because of him.
Because of your father. Because
of my father and what he did and the example that he set and the people that he put around us. You know, always had entrepreneurs around us, you know, businessmen. You know, my father wouldn't make a move if it wasn't, you know, profitable. You know, he wouldn't do anything unless it was profitable. And now, don't knock on nobody. That was just who he was. He was so focused on, you know, achieving success and getting his children, you know, out of the hood and out of the ghetto. And he didn't want us to be, you know, he didn't want us to be exposed to those things that, you know, the streets of Baltimore. You know, how Baltimore is. He didn't want us to be around that. So we tried to put everything for us at our house: arcade games, video games, air hockey table, pool table, trampolines, in-ground pool, you name it, we had it. Wow. You know, and our house was essentially the party house for everybody in the neighborhood. People would come all over. You know, it'd be random kids coming up to our house, you know, knocking on the door. Can we go swimming? You know what I mean? So this became normal to us.
Right.
But from the outside looking in, it's like, damn, they got it. They rich.
Right.
And you know, so you know, looking back on it, I was extremely blessed. I just wish I would have appreciated it a lot more
of his time.
Well, just the situation, you know, that I was in. You know, I didn't take advantage of it. I didn't appreciate it. You know, I took it for granted, and I rebelled a lot, you know, against my father because I felt like, you know, if you're not gonna support me and be there for me, then screw you.
Okay.
And you know, being young, of course, being young and ignorant, not knowing the circumstances, not understanding the circumstances, naturally you're going to feel that way.
Right.
But as you get older and you go through some experiences in life and you go through some things and you quickly realize, like, man, you know what I mean, your pops was dope. You know what I mean? He was the guy. He was that guy. Till this day, he is still that guy. You know, and shouts out to you, Dad. I love you. Thank you. But he's everything, man. My father, man, he's... Man, world's best dad, man, straight up, no doubt.
Well, he got competition.
I know, but you.
Because my children would tell that same story.
Right. Well, I mean, children, period, should feel that way.
Yeah.
About their father. And if they don't, then you're doing something wrong.
Something wrong.
Something ain't right.
Yeah.
Something ain't right.
I think that it's every parent's words that when they live a lifestyle like what you lived,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't see it, they don't appreciate it, then indirectly.
Right.
But every parent's thing is say, well, you know what, you don't know how fortunate you are.
Mm.
Wait till you get older and look back and you start appreciating things. And as you wrote your bio, you said you had to look back at it again, and
Yeah.
You looked at it like, I was truly, truly blessed.
I was, extremely.
You mentioned something also, which I always tell my children, that we often go at it as far as certain things is concerned, life teachings and all that stuff like that. And I tell them, I said, it's my job to do this. It's my job to take care of you. I was watching the clip of Fences. You seen the movie?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that part where Denzel is talking to his son
Mm-hmm.
about you eat, you sleep, you do this, boom, 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 boom. Nobody gotta like you, boom, boom, boom. And then he go, that's my job.
Right.
And it's a good feeling. I posted on my page today about fatherhood is embraced and is enjoyed everlasting internationally by fathers. And when you embrace that fatherhood, you don't see certain things as far as it being hard.
Mm-hmm.
Because to me, I've had people ask me throughout the years about my fatherhood, and I go, you know what? I love being a father.
Absolutely.
You know, again, like I told you before, I grew up without one. I didn't know mine, but that's a long story there. But I made sure that I was in life of mine, and it's my job. There's no leave time, there's no sick time, there's no vacation time. You can't call in sick. It's your job. And when you have a dad like what you still have,
Mm-hmm.
growing up, who have given this and given that, and then you say the pool was there, the arcade was there, the basketball court was there, everything was there. What else is there needed for you to enjoy it? But your father provided, and of course, the roof, the ultimate thing.
Right, the roof over my head, and I'm gonna say this: it's like, you know, granted he lacked compassion and love, and I'm pretty sure there's some things that, you know, he if he could do them differently, he would.
Right.
And we needed that. Me and my sisters, we needed that. But if you analyze and you look at, you know, the scope of everything,
Mm-hmm.
then you start to see that the love was there. It was just in his own way. And I said that to say, a lot of times, being a child, you know, it's like you're ignorant to that, to knowing,
Okay.
you know, to knowing these things about your parents, like what makes your parents tick, what makes them, you know, what I mean, the struggles that they went through growing up, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
How did they come to form this hard shell? How did they come to be loving and caring? And a lot of times, you know, as a child, you know, we're not privy to that information, so it's like we create in our own imagination what we feel like it should be, as opposed to just looking at it and saying, you know, this is who they are, and I need to accept them for who they are. And that's for anybody. You need to accept people for who they are.
Right.
And the one thing about my father, he's never changed.
Okay.
From when I was young up until now, he's never changed.
Okay.
And I take comfort in that. And I comfort my sisters in that and telling them that.
Okay.
You know, when they have their rifts or whatever. So I tell them, like, look at him. He ain't never changed. He's never changed. He's always been the same. You know what I mean?
Okay.
He's always shown his love in his way. And instead of, you know, harping on the negative and what he didn't do, learn to appreciate the things that he did do in his own way, because he's learning too. You got a single black man, a bachelor, you know, good looking, you know, women after him, he getting money, you know, so you got to look at it from his perspective. He say, okay, well, let me stop all this and let me take care of these kids.
Okay.
That's a huge responsibility.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's a major responsibility to quit the player lifestyle and take care of these 3 kids with no experience. You know, ain't no handbook in raising no kids.
No.
You understand? It ain't no guide. You know what I mean? You can't call nobody, hey, man, you know what I mean, can I drop my kids off to you for a week? You know what I'm saying? When you having a rough day, you can't do that. So he had to learn on the fly. You know what I mean? From all the way from burning eggs in the kitchen, you know what I'm saying, to you know, missing PTA meetings. You know, only time he came up to the school was when I was getting in trouble. But he came. You know, he was there. You know what I mean? So I just want people to just learn to appreciate your parents, man, for who they are, and learn to accept anybody and accept people for who they are as individuals, man. You know what I mean? Don't get so selfish within yourself to where you lose sight on what's really important. And that's the relationship with your parents and with your people. Like my mom, she passed. And I can tell you, I have a better relationship with my mother now, you know, in spirit than I did when she was alive. And that's because I learned to appreciate her and accept her, you know, for who she was, you know, and understand that she went through things, you know, growing up in the projects, you know what I mean, things like that, you know, not having a stable home, you know what I mean. How can I sit up here and be mad at my mom and feel, I mean, of course, I have every right to feel some sort of resentment.
Right.
But what good is that going to do? You know what I'm saying? How can you move forward if you're still holding on to resentment? You know, so I had to learn to accept her, accept and appreciate her story, what she went through.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I can move forward. And that's what I did. And now I have a better relationship with my mother in spirit than I ever had when she was alive. And I tell my brothers and sisters the same thing, man. You can't be so selfish till you lose sight on the facts of the situation. Look at her story. Look at what she went through. You going through things right now, right?
Right.
All right, then she did too. She was young. You know what I'm saying? So understand that, accept that, and learn to appreciate. You know what I mean? And accept it for what it is. And then we all be good.
So your father went from player bachelor to raising children.
Raising children. Raising 3 children, 2 girls at that. My sisters came, if I'm not mistaken, when they were 5 and 6. If I'm not mistaken.
He started taking care of you.
I was an infant.
You was an infant.
I was an infant. Yeah.
Okay. And you went from player bachelor,
Taking care of this infant baby boy.
taking care of infant baby boy.
Mm-hmm.
He nurtured and loved you.
Yep.
And then mom was living in a different place.
Yeah, she was in a different place. She was, in Lafayette Projects at that time, and she was a street chick. She was running, doing what she do,
Hold on for 1 second, so we got a call.
Okay.
Hello?
It's refreshing to talk to 2 kings.
All right.
No doubt, I appreciate that.
Even though you a Carver Bear, I'm a Mustang for life.
I hear that.
I like that Oreo gear you got on.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
And I
Always.
grew up in Murphy Homes.
Oh, no doubt. Shout out to Murphy Homes. You already know. No doubt.
My sons are watching too. So guess what? I'm humbled to speak to you because guess what? You was not a product of the environment.
Got that
You
right.
rose above, and you tell your father, my hat's off to him.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much, man. I really do. That means a lot. That really does. And I refuse to become a product of my environment. And I tell everybody in Baltimore, you can't get accustomed to what you believe is the norm because it's not.
Right.
You got to expose yourself to different environments. And once you expose yourself to different environments, you want more. You want more. You start wanting better for yourself. But if you get caught up in that 360-degree cycle, living in Baltimore, you just become another statistic. And Baltimore has so much talent. We got so many people that can do different things, and so many different creative minds. But they put that stigma on us like we crabs in a barrel. That ain't true. We ain't no crabs. We're not crabs in a barrel. you know, we all.
Ralph Johnson out of Baltimore. If you listen to this, call me up 470-251-4343. Ralph Johnson. Anybody that affiliate with Ralph Johnson, have him call in. Go ahead.
But we're not crabs in the barrel.
Okay.
And we got a negative stigma on us, and that's not true. It's not the case. You know, we're just very passionate about what we believe in, and you know, we have disagreements like any other culture, any other society in around this country, especially in the black community. But you know, we have the ability to do whatever we want. We just got to put our mind to it and do it. But we choose to take the easy way out, and the easy way out is not doing nothing, because that's what they want us to do. But the more
selling them drugs, and all that other stuff.
Right, you know, doing stuff that you see in your community and you think that's the only way, and it's not the case. You know, that's why it's good to see people like me and you know, out here doing what we doing, and it gives them inspiration and motivation.
This is Kevin McKinney, the guy I just told you about with Mac Ford, with the Sons that came on last week that performed.
Okay, right.
This is him. They moved to a year ago. Actually, the Sons came up with the idea to relocate.
Right.
And he went to the parents who discussed it.
Right.
So they followed their dreams out there. Like what you said,
Absolutely.
Baltimore have a lot of talent there. But sometimes you have to go out to get it.
You do.
You know, this is outstanding dad here too, Kevin McKinney, even though he's behind me in class. I mean, he's a Mustang, but he's in a class 82. And watch him come back with something like that. Are you still there?
And you know what? Before I get off this phone, I want to let you know what that synopsis you gave with as far as being crab and all that. That gentleman, Mr. Moody, you sitting next to, right? Even though he can't carry a note, he's not a crab. You see the platform that he has, and he's pulling. He's not, you know what I mean? He's pulling people up.
You got that right.
So,
absolutely.
Hashtag respect. And Young King, just don't let him sing. Y'all have a good one, all right?
You too. I appreciate it. Have a good one.
All right. Peace.
So then, Dad raised you. We was on that track. Dad raised you, and then later on your sisters.
They came.
They came in.
They came into play, and that was different. That was different. You know, I vaguely remember it, just a little bit, but it took some getting used to. You know, like I said, my father, he was always away working. You know, so it was pretty much me and my two sisters. You know, Edie and Amelia, and we just grew up in the house. You know, like I said, we had so many devices, so to speak, you know, at our disposal. So you know, it's not like we had an opportunity to get bored. You know,
had a whole lot.
I mean, we did, but we had a lot of that. We had a lot at our disposal. You know, so you know, we got into a lot. You know, but having them, you know, growing up with them, you know, it was tough. It was tough. You know, like I said, I wasn't an angel. You know, I had a bad temper, and you know, they had issues. We all have issues, but you know, like I said, my father always, no matter what, always kept moving, always kept pushing, always kept working and putting us in a better position. We went to you know, went to good schools. I want what I did in my spare time. You know, I mostly read a lot.
Hold on for 1 second. We got a caller.
I hear that.
Hello, caller. Hello.
Hello, yes.
Caller.
Yes, my name is Aaron Moody.
Aaron Moody, how are you?
I'm good today, sir. How are you?
I am wonderful.
Good.
You called to talk to our guest?
Yes, sir. But first, I want to thank you for what you have been doing on your show. Encourage your fathers to be a part of their children's lives. I'd like to thank you for that.
Thank you.
Because I can see the future. That's going to touch a lot of people. Out there in the streets, you won't be seeing fathers out there not with their children. You're gonna be seeing them with their children.
I thank you, boy. You about ready to make me cry in front of these people here. This is my youngest son. Thank you. You want to say something to our guests?
What's going
And
on? What's going on, Aaron?
I didn't get his, sir, I didn't get your name.
Rod.
Mr. Watt, I'd like
Yes,
to
sir.
thank you for telling your story to my father, what you have been going through. I would thank you for that, too.
No problem. It's my pleasure.
And,
Are you still? Are you still?
and yes, I'm there.
Go.
What you doing, Aaron?
Dad,
Yes.
yes, I did my homework. Yes. How are you?
I am wonderful. Any comparisons to Rod's story as far as his father being in his life and you having yours in your life? Did you hear how he mentioned something and then I mentioned a movie? What movie did I talk about as far as a father?
Fences.
Fences, okay. And Denzel told us somewhat.
I didn't really see the movie that.
No, you had to see a movie, but what did I say that he said? What do I tell y'all all the time when y'all may say thanks for doing this or thanks for doing that or thanks for buying this or doing that? What do I come back and tell y'all?
You look at us first and you say, it's my job.
It's my job.
And I'm very thankful for having you as my father. I think anybody out there would love for you to be their father, but you're my dad, so
Thank
sorry.
you. That don't mean I'm gonna make any more children out there because he said that now.
Yes, and I heard on the show that you were saying something about Nelson.
Yes.
I want to. Is it okay if I can say anything about that?
Oh, sure can.
I want to say, Nelson, if you hear me, I want to say hi. I miss you and be safe. I love you.
No. Okay. Thanks a lot. I am humble. I'm excited. I'm happy. I'm thrilled to be your father, and I thank God for allowing me to be part of your life.
Me too.
No doubt.
All right. Thank you, Aaron.
All right, Aaron, you be good, man. And get that homework
Thank
done.
you. Yes, sir. And one more thing, is it okay?
Yes.
Go Ravens.
Go Ravens.
You got that right.
Yeah.
You gotta believe it. You gotta believe it.
Thank you, Aaron.
See you later, Mr. White, thank you.
All right, see you later, Aaron.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Wow. He threw me for a loop on that one there, but he like I said, thank God for being part of that because sometimes a dad may go through things, and it's easy to walk away from a child or children. And there's a lot of dads internationally around the world who stay there, nurture, love, and be a part of their children's lives. I have two ladies who both were guests here, Kimberly McCants and Tracy Smalls, where so they have the utmost saluting and honoring respect when it comes to fathers. They too had their fathers in their lives. So they know the importance of having that dad in your life. And we don't negate moms, but we're international fathers, whereas though we're saluting and honoring fathers and inspiring and encouraging fathers to be a part of their children's lives. And to me, fatherhood is the best blessing that could ever be bestowed upon a man in respect to God and a spouse. I embrace mine. I love it. I often joke about me eating it, sleeping it, and breathing it. I wouldn't change a thing about what I've been through.
Right.
Even not knowing my father, because that propelled me to want to be part of my children's lives.
Right.
while I'm sitting here, we're having a media mixer here at Status Network, 777 Cleveland Avenue. On Sunday, November the 1st, we have the media mixer calling all TV, radio, podcast personalities, and magazines. The place to be here in Atlanta, Sunday, November the 11th, 2018, 777 Cleveland Avenue. Again, our call number here is 470-251-4343. You also mentioned you being a younger one of 3 siblings.
Yes, sir.
The cliche is that men are unable to raise sometimes children, but not just children, but girls.
Mm-hmm.
Throughout my course of life, I've known many of fathers who raise girls,
Mm-hmm.
who have raised daughters, who have raised sons. My children and I were talking about the Williams sisters.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when they came to tennis, they just changed the whole game.
Sure enough.
And their dad was instrumental in them. The guy that we just talked to, Kevin McKinney, he and his wife love their boys. They love their children. However, she don't see nothing negative or throw any kind of stereotypical thing towards him and his sons. I've always said that when a dad is involved with his children,
Mm-hmm.
it shouldn't be touched. It shouldn't be tampered with. It shouldn't be played with. You shouldn't play games with that. When a father is in the life of his children, you're supposed to let him do what he's supposed to be doing.
Right.
You know, I haven't had too many people who challenge that issue when a father's involved. You let him be involved.
Mm-hmm.
We got about 14 minutes left on go. April Whitaker, if you're out there, give me a call, 470-251-4343. Benji Anderson over in Decatur. David Drew up there in South Carolina. Angela Michael in L.A. These are all people that are in the media. Tyler Perry, if you're listening. My guess is a great actor. I'm just throwing it out there. So if you guys know anybody out there who are interested in an outstanding actor, here's one right here. You know I'm an actor and I'm a singer. But I ain't gonna sing right now today because we still talking about this fatherhood thing right here. But you yourself, you moved here about 6 years ago to further
My acting career.
you had the career.
My acting career.
Let's talk about that.
Acting just kind of like it was always something that I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
It was always something that I thought I could do. It was, it just so happened that a friend of mine who I went to high school with, shouts out to Rick Palmer, but Rick, I would always see him. He would always drive through my neighborhood, and he would always come through. So when he'll come through, he'll stop, and we'll talk. And he'll be like, "Man, I'm doing this play. And I was like, "Man, I want to do that. Let me get involved." Like, "Oh man, it's cool. You ain't." But I could see that he could see that I wasn't really, I was just talking.
Okay.
Even though I was serious, but I wasn't serious.
Okay.
I'm not serious to the point where I wanted to pursue it or even think of it as a career. It was just something I thought I could do. Why not? Give it a shot.
Mm-hmm.
But nevertheless, I would say probably he would come through often, but it was this one particular time where I seen him and we talked and I said, "Man, look, straight up, I want to get involved. Help me out." And he looked at me in the eyes and he said, "You serious?" I said, "I'm dead serious, man." He said, "All right, well, I got this guy, he's shooting his music video, and he need people to be in it." I was like, "Man, what's up?" He was like, "Well, I'll be here tomorrow morning at 8:00 to come pick you up." And we go from there. I was out there waiting on him at 7:30 and went to the 7:30 in the morning waiting on him to get there. So we got to the set and man, it was heaven, man. I felt at peace with myself, and I felt like this is what I wanted to do. So as soon as I got home that night, I went online, started looking for like different different workshops in and around the DMV, free workshops that I can attend to, ingratiate myself in the craft. Went around to local theaters to see if they was offering classes. I started modeling, started doing fashion shows in D.C., did one in Philadelphia, did a few in Baltimore, made some connections, and before you know it, it got to the point where, I was moving so fast, the opportunities wasn't presenting themselves like I wanted. So I called a friend of mine, Tay Smith. I call him Tavon Clark, but he likes to go by Tay Smith now, so give him that. Gotcha. But in any case, so I called him up. At the time he was making a transition from doing, from I think he was like an A&R rep. He was managing rappers, local rappers and whatnot. And he was having trouble with that. He couldn't find consistent work with that. A lot of times, the rappers, for whatever reason, they wouldn't show up or they wouldn't take it serious. So whatever the case. So he decided to transition into acting, becoming an agent. And so we talked, periodically. I let him know that I was getting involved, and he was there for me. He said, anything you need, man, I got you. So it came to a point where I needed him. I said, man, look, man, ain't nothing else I can do here in Baltimore. And he was like, man, I can't really, because I asked him for work in Baltimore. Like, do you know anybody in D.C. or Baltimore or Baltimore that can help me? And he was like, not really. But if you go to L.A. or Atlanta, I can help you. So I was like, dang. So probably like a day or two went by, and it dawned on me. I got a cousin that lives in Atlanta, my first cousin.
Okay.
So without even hesitation, I called him on the phone, and before I even said a word, he said, man, I've been hearing everything about you. I've been hearing nothing but positive things, good things. Whatever you need from me, I got you. I can't offer you much, but I got a roof.
Okay.
I said, man, that's all I need was a roof. And so I would say probably 3 months later, I packed up my stuff. I sold everything out of my house. I sold my car, got me a little, took that money, moved down here, took the money I got from that car, got me a little hoopty to get around in, and it was off to the races. Did some photo shoots, and I'd say probably like 6 months to a year later, once Tay, really got involved with Jay Purvis, and he was able to bring me in and sign me to the agency.
Oh, we got a call. Hello, caller. Hello. Hello, caller.
Hi, baby.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. What's up?
Hi.
Are you on the air?
Do you have a boyfriend? You're hot.
I have a wife.
I don't know what that was about.
Wow.
But in any case, so so he was. So I came down here. Like 6 months went by. Like he got a little in deep with Jay Purvis. Became one of their agents. He was able to sign me to the company.
Okay.
And I started auditioning for shows and stuff. And that's when I wanted to get deeper into the craft. So I got involved with the company acting studio. I went there for like 3 years, and from there I wanted even more experience and even more knowledge. So I figured that doing improv would be a good thing. So he found Whole World Improv Theater for me, 1216 Spring Street. Love those guys. If you ever get a chance and you're in Atlanta, go see a show because they kill it. But I went there for 3 years, and I took a little 2-year hiatus for a while. And in that 2 years, I was able to purchase a house, which was one of my goals before I came down here. So I was able to do that. I was able to, set myself up, put some money to the side, because I'm gonna tell you right now, when you out here and you pursuing your dream, you gotta have some funds, man, because it can get hard. And if you gotta work a 9 to 5, you gotta work a 9 to 5. But just try to save your money. But I think we all strive to do our dream full time.
Right.
And it can get difficult, and it got difficult for me. and, you know, getting turned down a lot. You know, I told myself, and you hear it a lot from different people, don't get discouraged and don't give up, don't quit. And I mean, you hear it, but then going through it is a different thing. And when I came down here, I you know, not to say I was cocky or arrogant or anything, but I was confident in myself to where as though I figured that it would, you know, take me no time to get on. And I quickly realized that that wasn't going to be the case. It's a lot of talent here. It's a lot of people coming here, a lot of talented people coming here. And, you know, you can't let your motivation and your drive waver not one bit, because as soon as you do, it's going to be somebody else creeping behind the door to come get that spot. So,
well, you said, excuse me for cutting you off, but you mentioned quite a few stuff that you mentioned modeling, you mentioned photo shoot, you mentioned a couple of companies that you dealt with, you mentioned your acting classes, you mentioned the free workshop that you've been. That was like 6 things that you mentioned. If you want to know more about Rod, can you give out your information right quick and where they can contact you?
Well, you can reach me at Instagram at Rod_Holmes, on Facebook, Rod Holmes. And, you know, just look out for me in the future. Like I said, I've been on a 2-year hiatus, but I'm back now. I got my feet under me. I'm coming with a different mentality. And I'm excited. I'm excited for the future. I'm excited to end this year off with a bang. So I'm doing a couple photo shoots. I got a couple photo shoots that I'm lining up. I'm in the mix of lining up right now. You know, getting those fresh headshots back out there. And, you know, I'm more experienced and, you know, more knowledgeable more wise about the industry now. So I'm excited, but I'm doing it because I decided that this is what I want to do, and I'm doing it because I love to do it.
Gotcha.
Not because I want money or fame. I just love to act. So, you know, no doubt.
Reach out to him. If you know a dad out there and you'd like to see him on my talk show, International Fathers, send me a 350-word essay along with a short bio. Tell me why you would like to see him on the show, and email to nelsonmoodysenior@gmail.com. Oh, we got to call it this late hour. Hold on. Hello, caller. You're the last caller. Got about maybe 45 seconds left.
Hi, this is Richie. The guy on the right is fine. Does he have a boyfriend?
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah, that won't work.
Again, nelsonmoodysenior@gmail.com. NELSONMOODY senior@gmail.com. Fathers, call those children, and children, call those fathers. Fathers, hug those children, and children, hug those fathers.
Can I say one last thing?
15 seconds.
15 seconds. One last thing. If you guys need carpet, RCH Carpet, 2335 West Franklin Street. Get your carpet, the cheapest prices in town. Baltimore City, come support a black-owned business. We need to support each other. Like I said, RCH Carpet, 2335 West Franklin Street. Thank you.
Until next time.